Sean McCartney, if things don't pan out for Canada, what are the ways or possibilities of getting a good or proven OC and not just another college coach?
Don't look at it as just a
Shelling
college.
out that money.
So think about this. Don't look at it as a college coach. Think of it as relationships. So for Coach Tomlin, he talked about, him being familiar with Matt Canada. A lot of times when you talk about the guys that get hired up here, it's about who they know, who they're familiar with, because they got to put their job on the line. And I mean, Deke has talked about this. I've talked about this, and I'm sure you, to an extent, could also relate. If your job is about to be on the line and you're the head guy, do you just get a random guy that everybody else loves, but you don't have any type of rapport, any type of cachet with them? Or do you go with a guy that you think you trust, you feel comfortable with? You also feel like, if my approach is, I want to be in control, this is a better vibe for not just me, but the whole building, versus let me go bring this guy in because the fans love him, but he doesn't mesh with what we're trying to do here. And now we got legit tension in the building because it's with the coaches. That's some of the stuff that takes place. And that is partly why these coaches hire who they hire, regardless of if we think they're qualified or not. We broke that down, and we've been seeing that every hiring cycle, right? Why does this guy get hired? Oh, he has a connection with that, and that dude. So look at the Matt Canada thing more in that lens than, oh, we just hired some random college guy for the sake of being a random college guy, because those are a little bit different. But I will say, man, in terms of going to the next direction, if this was the first direction that Coach T took, right? Because we know with Randy Fichtner, that's I'm trying to keep my quarterback feeling good. Ben Roethlisberger, we knew Fichtner, that's his guy. Keep it consistent. All right, I got Canada here. I done brought in Kenny. If that doesn't mesh, if that's not what, Coach Tomlin wants it to be at the end of this thing, then he's probably going to go in a totally different direction and maybe go back to a more proven thing, because the last time he went to a proven approach, it worked out with Todd Haley. So there's nothing that says that he wouldn't do it again, because we've already seen it happen. But this was his saying, I'm going to try a different approach right here.
Right.
We can't crucify the dude for taking a different approach when we've already talked about the first two approaches. And we said, man, with Haley here, that was one of the best times.
I didn't like doing that approach with Ben being in his last. I didn't think that was a good fit. Or at the time, I didn't know, because he was the quarterback coach, and it's just like, oh, we're hiring within. Are they gonna be good? But then we saw.
But prior to that, we had never seen anything or heard anything negative about it.
Yeah.
So that was why it made sense.
And then
nobody complained.
Whenever we actually got out on the field, Ben was running like Canada's offense, like understanding, doing all that stuff.
Yeah.
It's like this isn't working.
Yeah.
Shouldn't have been this way.
But once again, that's a Coach Tomlin thing. When you're the head guy, you make them calls, because ultimately Coach Tomlin had to decide, what do I hire a guy that's gonna please Ben in this last year, and now I gotta keep this dude even if I don't want to work with him, but because Seven did, or do I bring in somebody that I'm comfortable with for the long haul or for the next couple of years, even if it might rock this or it might not be the best fit for Seven? That's when you the head guy like he is, you make them decisions. I ain't in that position, so we just react to it. But I can understand that thought process. If it's my job on the line, I'm going to do what makes me feel more, secure with that, versus let me appease to this dude because the fans love him.
The sabotage.